got my drone pilot license. I got it, but was it worth it? For the past 2 years or so, I've actually been flying my drone, I guess, illegally. I mean, I think most of us kind of do that. And it wasn't until recently that I got a wedding gig and the venue requested my FAA license, and I was like, oh yeah, I have that. To be honest, I didn't even know that you had to have a license to actually fly your drone commercially, like as a business and stuff like that. I mean, I had heard about it, but I never really looked into it. But I wasn't sure that you needed it for everyday drone use. Yeah, car vlogging, not the safest idea, or easiest actually. I'll just finish this up in the office. I don't know what happened on the way home. I mean, it's been like 2 months since I started the video. So the main reason why I got a drone license was because of that wedding that I mentioned earlier in the video, and we already shot and edited that. When we were actually shooting, no one ever asked me for my drone license. Even though we were required to have one to even film there, no one even asked to see it, so that's cool. Just kidding, this is just an empty paper. I wouldn't actually rip apart my drone license. See, it's right here. That's my license, it's all good. It was $150, I wouldn't rip this apart. So at the end of the day, I didn't even need this freaking license at all. So the big question is, do you need a drone license to actually fly your drone and keep doing business? I really don't think you need a drone license. Even for the instance that I was required to kind of present one, I didn't need it, no one asked for it. So I guess I was maybe a lucky instance, but so far, no one's ever asked to see my FAA license, which I didn't have one, so that kind of worked out perfectly. But the real question is, like, should you actually invest in one, or should you even have one if maybe people will not even ask for it? I think you probably should get a drone license. You don't want to run into a situation or a client that offers you a job and maybe they will require you to see it and you don't have it, and you'd be like, well, freaking Kevo said you don't need one, so I didn't get one. So I would rather play it safe and just get the license. Thankfully, the test for the license is only $150, so it's relatively inexpensive, and the license is valid for 2 whole years. So if you were to get at least one client in those 2 years that would require to see your drone license, I'm pretty sure to be charging more than $150 for that gig, so you can just make that money back. But I doubt in 2 years you'll only make $150 using your drone, because honestly, people love drone footage. I mean, I've gotten a couple of clients just because they saw our drone footage. So this isn't really a video about how to get your drone license. There are multiple super informative videos that kind of do break down the process. I'll give you a couple of bullet points. You are gonna have to take a test. You are gonna pay, like, well, it kind of depends where you are, but I had to pay $150 for the test, and you are gonna have to study like a lot. You can't just wing it. I actually tried to study it in like 2 days. I consider myself a fast learner, so luckily I was able to retain some of that information, even though it was only 2 days. I will leave you guys a link in the description of a study guide that I kind of took. It kind of went over like the basics of what the test would include and kind of prepared you properly. So after watching that video, I did make myself a little study guide, that way I can study it and kind of retain all the, because they throw a lot of information at you. With that study guide, I kind of studied it for a couple of hours just so I can remember kind of everything that was covered, because everything was honestly brand new to me. Unless your dad's like a pilot and you might hear some of the lingo that they use, yeah, you're in luck. But if you're not, if you're just a regular Joe like me, then honestly, yeah, study guide was my super best friend. I'll also link for you guys like a little practice test that I did, kind of just to see where I was with my knowledge. You would answer the 10 questions and then it would tell you like what you didn't do right, and it would give you like another chance to kind of like answer correctly. On the actual test that I took, there was a couple of questions that were presented in this practice test that actually were on the real test. Knowing a couple of answers, or remembering rather a couple of answers from the practice test, kind of did help out in the end. The super cool thing about the test is that you need to score at least a 60% to pass, so that's like a C minus or something like that. Passing rate is actually, if you do at least like, I would consider the minimum studying, kind of what I did, you can probably pass this test. I think I scored like a 76%, which isn't that good. I mean, I passed, so I was pretty happy with that. So to summarize it, guys, I do encourage you to get your drone license. It's way better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So I hope this video was a little bit informative for you guys to probably study up and take your test. It's pretty easy. Actually, the place I went to is kind of rinky-dinky, but it was super cool being like in an actual airport. I don't know, I really want to go back. I really want to try to, I don't know, take some pictures of planes like in there. It was such a vibe. Well, that's it for me, guys. I don't have a cool catchphrase to end my videos. I'll come up with one soon, hopefully. Or is that not cool to do? Okay, bye.